With my Baldur's Gate 3 Let's Play, as well as the year coming to a close, I wanted to round up my favorite mods of 2023 for BG3. These mods are all available on Nexus Mods and were featured in my previous BG3 Top Mods vids, and these are also just ones that I happen to use all the time and cannot live without. If you have any trouble installing mods for BG3, I'll leave a link to my how to install mods guide via Vortex in the description box. The first and absolute favorite of mine, and I honestly can't imagine my game without it, ever, is the famous WASD character movement mod. It allows you to use the W, A, S, and D keys on your keyboard to move your character around, similar to a controller. The mod also has a toggle feature, so you can bounce between the mod's movement and back to the vanilla system. You can also still just point and click to move at literally any point without needing the toggle, making it a fantastic hybrid between vanilla movement and having the WASD keys move for you. If you're not a fan of point and click movement, or you're someone looking for just a new experience in BG3, this is a must-have. DrakeWarden was a mod I was so excited to find. It literally adds the DrakeWarden subclass to BG3. It's been a blast to play with, and honestly, the Drake you can summon is top tier. I also really love that there are draconic gifts that you can buy from a few select vendors that will allow you to get a few different items. One of those being a Summon Drake Familiar. So you can still take advantage of part of this mod without being a DrakeWarden. So now my next Sorc or Bard can have a dragon, making it a must-have in my Lord order at all times, as there will always be a reason to use it. I'm gonna call this the better series of mods, mainly because there are so many of them that I find to be important to my quality of life in-game. I'd highly suggest checking out the mod author's Nexus profile and seeing the list of mods that are available. Some shoutouts to my favorites are the better inventory UI that makes the inventory so much easier to read, with beautiful little icons to help quickly indicate what items are what. Better containers that make the containers a bigger grid size, easier to move around, and also the better context menu mod, which has made it easier to quickly go through and look at particular menus, as the icons that are next to certain actions are now just easier to recognize. Overall, with the better series, I find I'm spending less time in the menus and/or UI overall, and just more time enjoying the game. Speaking of UIs, Improved UI is probably one of the first full release BG3 mods that I downloaded and installed, and is and always will be a staple in my Lloyd order for a variety of reasons. Most importantly, though, is that it's also now a staple for a lot of other mods. So if you plan on modding BG3, I cannot recommend enough having this in your Lloyd order, as eventually you will come across one or more mods that just requires it. I love the enhancements it provides, as well as the optional files on the mod page. I'm personally stacking this mod with the optional file called a smaller minimap, as I personally find the vanilla minimap to be way too big, and this fixes it for me. Now, this next mod is in fact a game changer. It's called Stackable Items, which, as shocking as it sounds, literally stacks items. This may sound like something small and not at all important, but let me tell you, after staring down an inventory with 45 of the same dagger and not being able to see the rest of my inventory because it's full of daggers and 12 of the same armor, this has become a must-have. It's now so much easier to sell, loot, and keep your inventory organized with this mod. 100% a must-have if you're a fellow loot goblin like me. Aether's No Party Limits was a mod that I didn't know that I would love as much as I do, but here we are. I love being able to take all of my friends with me on adventures, or having my core team plus the person needed for a particular quest with me at any time. This mod is super lightweight, hasn't caused me any trouble since I installed it, and I also have installed it midway through playthroughs and haven't had any issues using it. So if you've ever wanted to travel with all of your friends, or maybe just an extra friend or two, this is the perfect mod to help you achieve that dream. Basket full of equipment is a staple, and has been since early access actually. I love all the different armor options and can't imagine playing without this mod. It works for both my character and all of my companions, so I can dress everyone up as much or as little as I want. All of the armors that I've used so far dye beautifully as well, so it's easy to customize the various looks to suit your preferences. It's a must-have mod if fashion is your end game. Astral Sea Dice Set is my go-to dice mod for BG3. There's just something about it that feels refined, whimsical, and refreshing. I'm a big fan of the look and have found that while critical failures still suck, they're a little bit prettier with this dice set. Aether's immersive UI is all I could ever want from a UI mod. I'm personally allergic to UIs in games, and this mod allows me to get rid of it when I don't need it and have it pop up in the appropriate places when you can't avoid having one. You can get the all-in-one version that I've linked in the description box, or you can go to the mod author's profile and download different parts to keep it modular if you'd prefer. The best part of this UI mod is that it allows me to see more of my game without sacrificing gameplay. So it's literally the best of all the worlds. If you're like me and want to see more of this beautiful game and less of the UI, this mod is a must-have. Modular equipment is an armor/clothing mod that I personally only use on my character, as I love how unique the various options are. You can use the pieces for either armor or camp clothing, and there are so many pieces to mix and match that you can totally make yourself a unique look that fits your character. A lot of the pieces can also be dyed, so you can easily customize the outfits further. I personally love the vibe of them, and it fits really well with the sassy, fun characters I tend to play as. Extra dyes for the fashionable folk of Faerun is the dye mod for me. So many options, so many dyes, so many different ways to give your outfits a bit of spice. There's literally so many different color combinations that are all, by the way, listed on the mod page. And my favorite part is that these dyes are multi-use, so you don't have to worry about using them sparingly. I usually leave my favorite dye or two in my inventory and just store the rest at camp. That way, when someone gets a new piece of armor, I can easily update the color scheme and not have to worry about buying or finding another one. Definitely a must-have for the fashionable folk of Faerun. And for my last favorite mod of 2023, Trade with Withers. And it does something I wanted ever since Withers joined my camp back in early access. Literally, it allows you to trade with Withers as a vendor. And the best part of this mod, it's modular. So you can have him just with coins, so you can just sell him stuff and move on, or you can have him stocked with a variety of in-game items like potions, scrolls, armors, arrows, etc. The choice is yours, and it can be tailored to fit your playstyle. Honestly, having Withers as a vendor has made my game so much more enjoyable, as I don't have to run to random places just to get rid of the stuff I've collected. I just send it all to camp, collect it later, and then slowly walk over to him and sell it all as needed. Highly, highly recommend. And there you have it, my favorite BG3 mods of 2023. I'm so excited to see what modding for BG3 looks like in 2024. I hope you found a few mods from this list to add to your current or future playthroughs. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!